Don't mind my crooked bows, okay? But look at these, you guys. I changed my bows on my headphones and I feel so pretty and so cute with little bows on my headphones. It makes me feel so good. So don't mind me. I'm just gonna leave them on because they just look cute and I feel really good in them. But hello friends, welcome to a new reading vlog, and in particular, welcome to a holiday Christmas wintry themed reading vlog. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be doing this vlog because, to be completely honest, I am not much of a holiday, fluffy, Christmassy type of reader. This is definitely going to be my first time ever participating in reading like those holiday, Christmassy rom-coms, or just, you know, reading holiday themed books in general. I am not usually that kind of reader, but I am jumping on the bandwagon because I am seeing all my favorite booktubers talking about these really cozy and cute rom-coms and Christmas books that are just to die for, apparently. And I want in on some of that fun. So I figured that I would dedicate a whole reading vlog to me reading some holiday books. Now, if you've seen my last vlog, you've seen that I was desperately on the hunt for some holiday themed books and I have not had any luck. And to be completely honest, because I am not usually the one to just read like Christmas rom-coms or any types of those books, I'm a little scared to go and buy a whole bunch of these books and then me not really liking them. So what I figured was that I would just go ahead and rent a whole bunch of these books on Libby, which is for free, and then give it a go and get a vibe and see if I'm going to be a target audience for those kinds of books and kind of go from there whether I want to go out and buy books. I scored a lot of luck finding books that were available right away on Libby that I can read for free that are holiday themed. But before I show you all of that, first I want to talk about the book that you see me all start reading, and I already devoured this. This is called Snow and Rose by Emily Winfield Martin. And let me tell you guys, okay, this is a children's book, right? I think this is a middle grade book. But if you're craving something whimsical and cozy and just comforting and magical, then please pick this up. This was such a quick read. It's about 200 pages, but on top of just being 200 pages, it has the cutest little illustrations inside. It made me feel all the good feels, and you guys know that I am here to feel all the good feels. This was such a comforting read, and it was so magical. So this story follows Snow and Rose, who are two sisters, and they live in the woods with their family. However, one day their father ends up never coming back from going on an errand. So months pass by, and I believe even a year passes by, and they have yet to hear anything about their father. So Snow and Rose don't give up hope, and they go out every day to try and see if they can find any clues as to what happened to their father. And along their little voyage, going out into the woods trying to figure out what happens, they encounter creatures and fairies and just magical little things that sort of give them clues to what might have happened to their father. They even make a friend, a boy named Evo, who also ends up going missing, and it might or might not have to do with the same thing that happened to their father. So the woods are a mystery. They are magical, and there's lingering creatures and old magic that is just residing everywhere, and Snow and Rose are trying to figure out what happened, and they're trying to get their dad back. This was such a cozy, quick read. It does take place in all of the seasons, but there is a big emphasis on like winter and Christmas. So that was really comforting to read about, especially during this time of the year. Honestly, I super enjoyed this book, and it's just such a beautiful book to just keep and stack. And me as an author illustrator, I feel like if I was to write a book and also illustrate it, I would definitely do it like Emily Winfield Martin did, how she illustrated and also wrote the book. So I would do like the story and then include like images and illustrations on there. It was just so cute. I absolutely loved it, and I highly recommend it. So I just finished this one, and I have been listening, I've been listening to an audiobook, and also I have been reading an ebook. I kind of went crazy when I couldn't find any holiday books that caught my attention that I wanted to buy, and I started looking on Libby, and I put a whole bunch on hold, some that were still not available, but I just put it on hold just so I can get on the wait list. And then all of a sudden, like 3 of them became available that same day. So now I have, I think, like 5 books that are on my bookshelf on Libby that are holiday themed. So now I don't know what to do. So currently I have been reading Love in Winter Wonderland by Abiola Bello. I mentioned this book in my Christmas starter pack. So far it is so cozy and it is so cute. I am only like 10% into the book. I'm not that far in, but already I am super enjoying it. This is about a family who owns a bookstore that is called Wonderland. I believe they're struggling with keeping their bookstore open because of gentrification. Go figure. And I believe the family ends up hiring this girl at Wonderland, which their son also works at, and it's like the relationship that they build, and also they have to come up with a plan together to keep Wonderland open and figure out ways where they can generate income and keep Wonderland running. It is based in the winter and around the Christmas season, and so far I'm enjoying it, but that's all I know about it so far. So I'm reading that one on my iPad, by the way. I don't have a Kindle, so I've been reading it on my iPad. But also I have been listening to the audiobook of A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I believe this came out like 2 years ago. I'm very behind to getting into, like I said, into any of these holiday books, but I've heard so many great things about this, you guys, and they were not lying. I'm only like an hour in and I am obsessed. It is hilarious. I believe this is about an actress who does adult films, and she gets contracted to do her first role that doesn't have to do within the adult scene. And it's supposed to be like a holiday rom-com sort of movie that she gets contracted to play the part in. And her co-star is apparently a subscriber of an online service that she offers. I don't think she knows that when she first meets him, but obviously he knows who she is, so he's like stunned that this is his co-star. But one thing that I'm super loving about this book is that it centers a plus size woman. I'm having such a great time with this book, so I'm excited to finish this book. Outside of those 2 books that I'm currently reading, I also ended up borrowing A Murder for Christmas by Frances Duncan, which is this book right here. I don't know if you guys could see that. It's really tiny, but I'll put it right there. I borrowed this book, which I also mentioned in my Christmas starter pack video, along with A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos. Again, I'll put it right here. So I borrowed those. So I'm currently reading 2 holiday books and I have 2 others that I placed on hold. So with that being said, friends, grab something cozy and warm to drink, grab a blanket, grab some snacks, and let's read some holiday, Christmassy, wintry books together, and let's see if I can become a rom-com contemporary holiday girly. We shall see by the end of this video. Hello friends, it is the next day and I woke up to a very gloomy and rainy day, which is perfect because it gets me more in the reading mood. Yesterday I read quite a bit of A Merry Little Meet Cute, and oh my gosh, you guys, this book has been making me blush. I did not expect anything that I've been reading. It is by far one of the spiciest books I've ever read. And I mean, I'm not mad at it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at it. But I've definitely just never read anything like that. And I'm having a grand old time. It's been super fun and it's funny. I love the humor. I love the personality of the characters. I am halfway into the audiobook of A Merry Little Meet Cute. So I am thinking of wrapping that up hopefully today. That way I can continue reading Love in Winter Wonderland. So I'm gonna finish listening to the audio. So I'm gonna finish listening to the audiobook and hopefully get done with A Merry Little Meet Cute today. But I want to show you guys what I've been working on. So I've been really getting into knitting lately, and my mom has been showing me how to knit, and I want to make a scarf. And I went and bought some yarn the other day at Michael's because they had a whole bunch of yarn for sale. And so I started making this one right here, which is turning out pretty good, but I'm thinking I kind of wanted the stitching or the pattern, I guess, to be a little bit chunkier and wider. So my mom said that she could teach me a different stitch. So I think I'm going to undo all of this and do a different stitch. So I think I'm gonna do that. I need to get with my mom so she could show me the new stitch. Once I get the hang of it, I think I'm just gonna listen to the audiobook and continue my scarf. I'm going on a New Year's trip with my family to Washington State, and we are so excited about that. So I'm hoping I can get done with my little scarf project before we leave on that trip. I'm hoping I can do one for me and my husband. So that is what I'm working on. So I think I'm gonna do this and continue A Merry Little Meet Cute and give you guys all an update. guys hear some snoring in the background, that's because Dobie is asleep here on the couch and he is snoring his cute little face away. So friends, it is the next day. I finished A Merry Little Me Cute. I'm still trying to wrap my head around whether I liked it or how much I liked it and what I thought about it. But I think after letting the story sit for a while, I've come up with some things of the things that I did like and some of the things that I didn't really like. I thought the overall story was cute. I thought the personality of the main characters were funny and they were very likable, and I overall liked the themes that A Merry Little Me Cute explores, such as like our main character, or one of our main characters, she is a sex worker, and on top of that she is a plus size sex worker, which I'm here for the representation. I love to see things like that represented. But I will say that I think that when it comes to rom-coms or just reading romance in general, I am someone that likes to see that romance build up. And in A Merry Little Me Cute, the romance was already kind of set, like before the story takes place, because our two main characters have been crushing on each other for years. So you're kind of thrown in the middle of them finally getting to know who they are of each other, because they're both have like their own little fame going on, and they end up getting booked for the same holiday movie. And so we don't really get to see that tension build of like them falling for each other. They pretty much already just like each other, which in general is not bad, but I'm just saying personally, I would prefer to see, when it comes to romance, I like to see that love being built, them getting to know each other, and that love just transcending from there. And in this book, that's already kind of been set. And yes, there is, I would say, love, but a lot of the chemistry between both of our main characters kind of seems more like lusting after each other, kind of like infatuated over each other, which again, nothing wrong with it, but that's just the kind of book that this is. I was just in the mood for more of a holiday-ish, just fluffy romance. This was a very spicy book, which I'm not complaining, but I suppose I just should have looked it up more or read people's comments on this book. That way I had a better idea of what I was getting myself into. But overall, it was an okay book. I enjoyed it. It made me laugh. Some of the storyline did feel believable. Other parts felt like, I don't know if that would actually happen in real life. But again, it was fun to read. I really enjoyed it. So for me, this book, I think I'm going to give it like a 3.5 stars, which isn't bad. 3.5 stars is pretty good. I am still currently reading Love in Winter Wonderland by Abiola Bello. I read some of it this morning and I am really actually enjoying this book. I love where this is going. I especially love how each chapter starts off. Look at this, you guys. I love how each chapter is starting off with our POV's favorite Christmas song. I just thought that was so cute and added a little bit more of a Christmas touch to it. So I'm really enjoying that. So far, I'm not that much into the book still. I think I'm only on page 50, so I still have some ways to go. And then I went ahead and borrowed another book. I was kind of scrolling through my Libby and trying to see what Christmassy books were available to borrow and not get on a wait list for. But in particular, I was looking for another audiobook to read. And I came across Christmas Presents by Lisa Unger. This is what that looks like. And this is supposed to be like a Christmassy murder mystery thriller type of book. And it's only 6 hours, so I'm hoping I can just finish this today. But the synopsis sounded really interesting. It says, Madeline Martin has built a life for herself as the young owner of a thriving business. The next chapter bookshop, despite her tragic childhood and now needing care for her infirm father. When Harley Granger, a failed novelist turned true crime podcaster, drifts into her shop in the days before Christmas, he seems intent on digging up events that Madeline would much rather forget. She's the only surviving victim of Even Handy, the man who was convicted of murdering her best friend Steph, and is suspected in the disappearance of two sisters, also good friends of Madeline's, who have been missing for nearly a decade. Harley Granger has a gift for seeing things that others miss. He wasn't much of a novelist, but his work as a true crime author and podcaster has earned him fame and wealth and some serious criticism for his various unethical practices. Still, visiting Little Valley to be closer to his dying father has caused him to look into a case that many people think is closed and some want reopened. Since Even Handy went to jail, 3 other young women have gone missing, and most recently, a young college dropout named Lolly. 5 young women missing in the same area in a decade. Are they connected? Was Evan Handy innocent after all? Or was there something else there that night? Someone who is still satisfying his dark appetites. So that sounds interesting. I think I was in the mood for something thrillery and like a murder mystery. I think after reading A Merry Little Meet Cute and then Snow and Rose and then now reading Love in Winter Wonderland, I wanted to read something that was thriller, something that could keep me on edge. So I went ahead and borrowed Christmas Presents. So I'm hoping I can finish that today. But so far, you guys, I am really enjoying all these Christmassy holiday books in the week leading up to Christmas. For now, I'm going to continue doing the work that I'm doing right now, which is packaging up my December Patreon rewards. I have this cute little postcard that is for all my December subscribers, and then I have this cute little Christmas tree bookmark that I am also packaging up for my Patreon subscribers. So that's what I'm doing right now while I listen to Christmas Presents. So I will give you guys all an update a little bit later. Hi friends, it is the next morning and it's another rainy day, which I am here for it. So reading update. I finished reading Christmas Presents, which I'll give an update about Christmas Presents at the end of this video. It was a short novel. I sped through it pretty quickly, kept me on my toes, but I'll give more info towards the end of this video. But right now I'm reading Love in Winter Wonderland. I'm like halfway through it. I'm speeding through it. I'm reading it on my iPad. And you guys, I am so loving this story. I'll give like a full review of the book towards the end of this video, but let me just emphasize the importance of supporting indie bookstores and family-owned anything, to be completely honest. Listen, I love shopping at Barnes & Nobles and I love going to Barnes & Nobles to shop for books, and it's just like a whole vibe and experience. You know, oftentimes Barnes & Nobles or even like Amazon unfortunately does have better prices and deals on books compared to like family-owned indie bookshops. But as I'm reading this story, it just really goes to show how much families and people who opened up a small or indie privately owned bookstore, how much it goes into running a store and the circumstances that go into not being able to sometimes provide the same deals as bigger box stores can, and how impactful it is on family and the folks who own these bookstores when they're seeing business being driven out by bigger box stores. It breaks my heart because I hear about this happening all the time. Small businesses being driven out by bigger box stores and gentrification happening. I live in the Bay Area in California, and I see this happening all the time, like in San Francisco, in Oakland. how a lot of small businesses are being driven out by these bigger box stores, or spaces being bought out by people who are trying to build these fancy buildings or apartments, and people who have been living in these neighborhoods their whole lives, they're being driven out. And it's so sad. And this is pretty much what's happening to this small family-owned bookstore. They're being driven out by this bigger box bookstore. And it makes me angry and it makes me sad. But this is a reminder, you guys, if you guys can, try and mix it up. Buy books from indie bookstores, from family-owned bookstores, or just any stores in general outside of books. It could be anything in general, but try and mix it up. It's so important. But overall, I'm loving the little cute story in this book. We have a little bit of an enemies to lovers trope going on. I love the language. It's so easily consumable. I'm hoping I can finish reading the book by the end of today. So I'll give you guys an update either today or tomorrow. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. Hi friends, welcome to the end of this video. So I want to talk about the two last books that I just finished. So I just finished Love in Winter Wonderland this morning, and then I finished Christmas Presents yesterday afternoonish. Okay, let's start with Christmas Presents. That was quite the roller coaster. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Y'all already know me. If you've been here for a while, you know that I love a good thriller and murder mystery. And usually I tend to lean more towards the cozy murder mysteries and not so much the thriller murder mysteries. But this one really kept me on my edge, and it was perfect to listen to in audio format. I mean, it was a novella, so it was about like 6 hours on audiobook format. And you guys, it was pretty good. I know I've watched something similar like this in like a movie format or series or something like that, but it gave me like the Lovely Bones type of feeling. If you've seen The Lovely Bones, it kind of gave me that vibe, but the difference is that the girls that are being kidnapped and unalived are much older. But in this story, we are following our main character who severely has a lot of trauma due to her experiencing being kidnapped and almost being unalived by her kidnapper. And the kidnapper did also kidnap one of her friends and unalived her. And our main character also almost had the same thing happen to her, but she was able to escape. So we're fast forwarding to several years later, I believe, and she's taking care of her ill father. She's opened up a bookshop. So she's really trying hard to leave that past behind her, until all of a sudden he's not a detective, but it's this guy that covers serial killer podcasts. So he moves into our main character's town, and he took an interest onto our main character and the unsolved mystery of the murder. The thing with our case here is that the serial killer was captured. The one that killed our main character's friend, he was captured, and it happened to be someone that was close to her. But the whole thing is that there are murders that started happening again, and they're very relatively similar to what happened in the past with her friend. And so they're thinking that, I mean, they thought about this all along, that there was two people that were involved in the murders, but they were only able to capture one person. So this murder mystery crime podcaster moves into town. He takes an interest on our main character's story, and he takes it upon himself to try and solve and question what happened and see if there really was a second serial killer. I will say that I did kind of see it coming, what ended up happening at the end, whether there was a second serial killer or not. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil the ending for you guys, but I honestly had a really good time. I think in between reading cozy and fantasy books that are Christmas related or winter related, this really added more to the mix. Even though it is not technically based during Christmas season, I mean, it kind of is. It's more so based during the winter season. So it doesn't have too much to do with Christmas itself, but more so the time of the year that is Christmas. But I mean, if you want to listen to the audiobook, I had a great time with the audiobook. I listened to it on Libby for free and it was only 6 hours, so you can easily just go through it in one day. Now, Love in Winter Wonderland. I did not expect to like this book as much as I did. I knew that I was gonna like some aspects of it because I'm all about saving small indie bookstores and I'm very passionate about gentrification because I've seen it happen all my life and where I grew up here in California. So I knew it was covering some topics that I was very much interested in, but I didn't expect like the little enemies to lovers story and the whole ambiance of the book to really be something that I really loved. So in this story, we are following Trey and Ariel, who are our main characters. We have a dual POV perspective. Trey helps his family run Wonderland Bookshop and Ariel is an artist and they both go to school together. They don't really talk in the beginning. They just both have friends that hang out with each other, so they know of each other, but they don't really talk until Ariel lands a job at Trey's bookstore and then a potential love interest ends up sparking. But Trey's family is on the brink of losing Wonderland Bookshop, and when Ariel joins the team at Wonderland Bookshop, they kind of team up together, her and Trey, to try and come up with ideas to save the bookstore. So they come up with really cool things that are more modernized as far as like using social media and starting a GoFundMe. They do a fundraiser and they start a book club and fun little cozy things like that. So they end up getting fairly close. So in the story, we're just basically following Trey and Ariel trying to save the bookstore. Also in the background, while we are also witnessing them kind of falling for each other. But again, Trey has a girlfriend, and so there's that dilemma. Even though Trey's girlfriend is a nasty person, she's not nice. Even though this is like a cozy winter Christmassy book, there are some bigger topics that are discussed, like body dysmorphia and eating disorders, gentrification, like I mentioned. These are big topics to talk about, and even though it's a cozy wintry Christmassy book, there's these bigger topics that are brushed upon. So our main character does suffer from body dysmorphia and also there's hints that she has an eating disorder. So please look up the trigger warnings if you do want to read this book. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. I didn't expect to like it this much. And if you want something that's more Christmassy based, more wintry, you get all those cozy Christmassy feels. So that is it, friends, for this Christmassy holiday-ish reading vlog. I had so much fun reading all these books. I can't believe that I actually got through 4 books in this reading vlog. I read Snow and Rose, A Merry Little Meet Cute, Christmas Presents, and Love in Winter Wonderland. They were all great books to read during this holiday winter season. I still have a lot more other books that I want to get through for this winter season, but again, we just literally started winter. Actually, today's the first day officially of winter season, December 21st, so we have the entire winter season to continue reading our winter and even holiday-ish books. I know I'm going to continue reading some winter books. I have a huge list going. Let me know down in the comments below, what are you reading for this winter and even holiday season, or what have you read? Leave those down in the comments below. Let me know if you're interested in reading any of these books that I mentioned on here. And of course, if you love this type of content from me, please engage with this video, comment, like, share, subscribe. It really helps out my YouTube channel in order for the YouTube algorithm to push my videos to the audience that is for me. So I would really appreciate that from you. Again, friends, thank you so much for being here. And until then, take care, happy holidays, and bye for now.